good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to INCRadio. Once again, I'm Taylor Joy from the local congregation of Temecula Valley.
And I'm Hannah Limon from the local congregation of Chula Vista
Radio San Diego. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to spend our Saturday morning with all of you tuning in. Today, we're going to get to work. Aren't we, Hannah?
Oh, yes, indeed. And speaking of that, work in progress, I want to hear from you, so make sure to share the link and leave comments so that we can get to it later.
Yes. And of course, like this channel if you have not already done so. And as always, be sure to participate in our local shout out challenge.
Comment actually with your local congregation, and then we will actually announce the
winners. Once per comment is enough, and you can comment as much as you want throughout the show. And stay tuned so you can hear who won from our topic. Working.
I think maybe 8 years or so.
Yeah. Jump to the live chat to think about.
All right. So again, we would love to read your comments out loud and share these other first job experiences and wisdom. So our first question for the chat is, what was your very first job or early work experience? Share it with us in the chat.
I'm excited to hear what the
wiser audience, yes,
audience has to say. Yes,
more experience. Yes,
I learned in recent years that my dad has had a lot in his adulthood. One of his, I think, his very first job, if you can call it that, was delivering newspapers.
Oh, that's so cute.
If you can imagine that, when that was in a while. But let us know if how do you think that your first job shaped your approach to working today?
Ooh, Taylor. So I'm going to compare it with because I'm a school teacher. So my very first job from years ago, it was a work study. So it was very flexible with my class schedule.
So your first job was while you were a student at college?
Yes. So that's how I was able to get that balance.
Nice.
But how it approached to how I work today, it helped that times one, so that's how I got that connection in. But it taught me how to speak to varying. So of course I had to learn how to communicate clearly, how to be firm with, especially when it came with paperwork and all. But of course I learned how to take it with grace and not take it personally. I think that's one thing that helped me as a school teacher too, especially when working with a wider range of people in the community field for years. So I learned how to balance that, right, with being aware in my experience, but still keeping firm to who I am and communicating.
Would you say that you were mentioning how some interactions felt like people were belittling you because of your age, because you were much younger than them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, can't help it. Came back then.
Are you talking about the Asian genes?
maybe. I don't know. But yes, can't help that with appearances. I can't blame. It is what it is. And if that's how others may take taking person, like, oh, are they just talking down on me because and of course that's just something to balance in the long run when we do encounter these
that you learned early on in your. So yeah. I like that. I love how you gained something so valuable from your first work experience.
Yeah, didn't you also work on
job was also while I was a student. It's funny too because prior to that, once like a coffee shop or a bubble tea shop.
Yes.
There was one in particular that was on the corner of the street that worked there so bad because it was time.
Even closer in high school.
Yeah.
They tend to, I don't know, calling out on anything, but I feel like it's because they like that social environment.
Your scheduling seems a little bit more flexible.
And part-time, so I get that flexibility.
It works really well for students. So I really wanted to work there, but I interviewed and everything, and I did not get that job. And I was so frustrated because I really wanted a job at that point. It was in my second year of college that I actually got my first job. And it was more than what I would have been paid at any job. The people that I worked with were amazing. Students around my age, the housing administrator,
where it showed something that you would have seen on the daily.
I really like a strong foundation.
From I wonder.
Staring at my screen. Office jobs aren't always just a job that we like to pull out. It's very easy to weave in fun throughout our week. My first job, even though the timing was great, my schedule was super balanced at that point, and I got to meet a lot of great people who I looked up to.
I like how you mentioned, a lot later in your college during your college studies.
Yeah.
Because I had college, so my third year in. So by that time, I was already of, how many more requirements I needed to finish, and it was a lot more flexible. So just a little food for thought, right?
Yeah.
Considering for those wrong with that, or even just starting right away. But of course, and at a movie theater when I was things to go, but I learned a lot.
That's really cool. I don't think I've met anyone who's worked at a movie theater before, so thank you for sharing.
All right.
Also from Brother Matthew Capistrano, our district supervisor. How was everyone's chapel cleanings today?
That's right. A handful of local congregations like mine are currently cleaning up and making sure everything's tidy. So that's also a good life skill to carry on. And let's see, from Earl Robilos from National City, he was a fast food cashier. All right. So
Very
in the food
interesting.
industry,
Mm-hmm.
what?
It was
I
at a
did
bubble tea shop.
a Mexican food chain. I can't say which
Ooh.
one, but it's so hard, especially
That
when
is a valuable skill.
yes, especially when the sauces are, they put little extra
Extra
sauce
saucy.
and it's too, liquidy, and it was a great accomplishment at the time. Like I did
Nice.
it.
That's so
Yes.
San Diegan of you. Papa, his first job, fast food.
Fast food.
Very
And from
cool.
Phil Nationalis, he worked as a cashier at a restaurant with the Golden Arches.
From Sister Lay Nationalis, my first job at Port.
Oh,
I told
okay.
my sitting.
Mitzi de la Cruz. My first and last job was at a union that helped programs and basic needs that our Filipino seafarers deserve. Wow. So
Wow.
helping the community.
Sounds so
Reaching out.
fulfilling. Amazing. Also from Sister Cynthia Papa, first job was an ice cream scooper at Seaport Village.
Oh, yummy.
Now I'm craving Chunky Monkey. Taught me money doesn't grow on trees.
Right,
So true.
for those who are
Mentioning that,
Yeah.
Sister Cynthia.
and from Nate Nationalis, my first job was a bubble tea shop right across the street from my house. Okay, see,
Lots of bubble tea and
Yeah.
fast food industry. Looking at the call center. Oh, working.
my first job was a bank proof operator. Oh, that's interesting.
What makes
You're
sense?
so great at math. She's studying it with you, but I like how these past jobs we've had or even experiences in life. So
So true. Very
There we go.
fitting. For everyone tuning in, please let us know which part of your first job do you still or funny moments? B, a valuable lesson or skill. C, the paycheck feeling. Or D, my answer to this involves a little bit of a story. So while I was a student on campus and working part-time in the administrative office, it was the start of the school year, right? So students had just moved onto campus, and me being part of housing, helping students with their housing arrangements and all of those details, we would receive requests from students to change their meal plans. That was part of the housing department is, the meals that they get while
Right,
they
got
were
it.
being housed
Yeah.
by a new project to change their meal plans. So the way it works is they had to submit paperwork, like 2 or 3 pages of work that they had to fill out, and then they submitted it to the office, and then the ladies at the front would put it in a certain area in our office in the back.
Right.
For myself and my team to work. Full year, our supervisor came in and she was like, "Hey guys, have there been no meal change requests
Ooh,
yet?"
something happened.
And
in the
we
middle.
looked behind. We had to prioritize.
Mhm.
We didn't know that, but what we learned from that is that if there's an inkling of doubt in your mind on what direction you need to be taking at your job, you should ask your supervisor. And don't be
Yes.
afraid to ask your supervisor.
Yes.
Hey, what should I be tasks on? Your supervisors will really respect you for that, and it'll save you a lot of time. Run.
Now, just kind of interweaving in like my first career, in my teaching career, I struggled a lot. I think just to put it in a nutshell, to the point where there was frequent crying. So
Oh, no.
it was rough, yeah, because teaching it's really difficult, and this was my first job being in the classroom.
Yeah.
So, of course, this is my current classroom, but I've gone a long way just looking at that space now.
Nice.
But in my first supervisor, no matter how tough it may be, and just not take it personally,
Yeah.
was so important to me, and that's what really helped push me throughout that whole school year.
Yeah.
So, like you said, communication, follow-up, being accountable is so crucial, especially where it's rough when you know that you've done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's a matter of how you use your emotions to process that, to, are you going to let that eat you up the whole time? Or are you going to, yes, you can cope with it, but how are you going to move forward? Because there's others that rely on you, and they're, like for me, in my case, students relied on me. So of course it's just taking that into a bigger perspective. So
I see.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
of course.
super important for you, especially because in your setting, in your classroom setting, you are the leader.
Yes,
you
adult.
are the one that everyone else looks up to.
Yes. So I'm glad in my second job assignment that you saw there in the pictures, with all that learning curves I learned from my first year, going into my second school site, I took that as my experience. So being more organized, like my very proud setup here.
Lovely.
Knowing what materials to use and how to use it effectively, how to best support my students, keeping open communication with other teachers that I work with, and even my supervisor. It was just really crucial. And honestly, being at the school site was very smooth. Like, yes, it's still challenging. There are still other factors, but, it's, I wouldn't say it's going to get easier, but it's just, you get what you get. And it's just a matter of how ready and willing you're going to take that. So, in a way, yes, that's how I grew professionally from that, and then personally. Of course, just keeping true to who I am in faith, and then, of course, just keep pushing on through those challenges. So, woo! I love that. It's just
growth is what I'm
a lot of growth, yes.
In all aspects. All right, we also want to take some time to read comments that you all have been leaving from Anne Abouan. Getting burned by popcorn makers since I'm so short. That's her response to what part of your first job do you still think about today? Of course, getting a paycheck, as little as it was a great feeling to have my own income.
Yes, it's something to celebrate, right? It's like, yeah, I earned that money, so of course
I feel like we can all relate. And the feeling of being able to buy whatever you want with the money that you make.
Yeah.
So nice.
So, let's see. Chrissy Lakpakan, she said she has gained a valuable lesson or skill from her first job. Okay.
What was it, Mom? Share it. I'm curious now. Also from Sister Ley Nacionales, the paycheck feeling. Her pay was $4.25 an hour at the time. So she, and she says, so I can buy my own food and pay for my own gas as a minor.
All right. So, for those, who started driving midway through high school, so of course there's that. Something I still think about from my proof operating job was going through. I wonder what she said.
Down, thank you.
Acquire. Ooh. I can feel that. That is true. Hear about layoff career field. Yeah. It's pretty common, but from what and it's just a matter of time and waiting. So it's rough. But for those who may be in that situation or not, or you're still looking for jobs.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing your stories. We do want to ask one more question. Would you like to do the honors, Hannah?
Yeah, so kind of like what hurdles or just starting their first job right now. So just give us some quick wisdom. All quick wisdom is welcome, and maybe we can learn a thing or two as well for ourselves.
Yes. And while everyone does that, we're going to start wrapping up our discussion here as well. Hannah, if you could give advice to young Hannah during that early job or any of your first jobs, what would you say to her?
Ooh, I would say,
There are a lot.
One, make the most of your time. Time is a general umbrella. I'm not going to call myself out here, but yeah, make the most of your time. And of course, if I were to speak to younger self, I just want to say whatever job you get into, even if it's just so different from what you had expected or you think you had studied for, the qualities and life skills carry over in years to setting, or maybe I thought for a good while. Just helped me a lot with the time that I was given, and that's how I was led to my current career path now. So even though I may have been doing other things along the way just to earn some money or just make the most of my time, keep myself occupied, it's led me to this point where, now I'm sure of what I want to do for the long, it's rough, it's a challenge coming up. That's what I thrive on is just learning more about myself professionally, personally, and the challenges that come, because everything is a learning opportunity. So I say, whether you are getting to a first job, it's something, take all the opportunities as learning moments, not something to,
Right. We're only human.
Yeah, we're
and
human.
If we're in the middle of learning something new, like a new job, we're bound to come across mistakes, right?
But that's how you learn.
Herself when she was in the middle of her first jobs is to don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
And don't be afraid to be honest and transparent when your workload feels heavy. Let your supervisor know, let your team be able to show you a new process to help you get your tasks done faster or more efficiently. Don't be afraid to voice out when you're struggling, because someone is bound to help you.
And they want to help you. So of course you just got to say it, right? It may be hard at first. I can feel that, but it's just a matter of, they need to know. Workers or supervisors, they can't read our minds.
And before we related comments from everyone tuning in, from Christy Lagpagan, be the best version of yourself at work.
Moment.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
From RJ Garbantina, Faith. Hello, everyone. Happy viewing from Rizal. God bless to all.
Now from Terry, be patient with yourself. Terry, be patient with yourself. You will not pick it up right away. You will not pick it up right away. The learning curve is real for a reason.
Yes, it's not an overnight success thing, right? Give yourself grace. Take that time. And also take care of yourself, you'll get there.
You'll get there.
You'll push through. You'll get there.
You'll get there.
You'll push through. You'll come from your first job to maybe your fifth job or something that Taylor does.
That was a really great discussion. Thank you everyone who contributed. We are going to move on now because, Hannah, you know what? I love San Diego so much.
Of course, I do too.
There's just so many places to visit.
Places I need to see or eat at.
Food to eat. See, in our next segment, which is Into Sunny San Diego. All right. Today we are highlighting bubble tea. This is served as really delicious food.
Yeah, so actually in these shops around San Diego, not only do they sell bubble chicken, wonton noodle soup, your bubble tea, and then a meal.
Yes, and for those who are curious, if you've never heard of bubble tea, milk tea, boba tea, or boba. This is a tea-based drink, most often containing chewy tapioca balls, milk, and flavoring.
Bottom. Even though it's called
They're called toppings, yeah.
They're called
toppings, yes. That always baffles me.
Reverse.
Why is it called toppings when they all sink to the bottom?
Things, as well such as grass jelly, aloe vera, red bean, or popping aloe vera, red bean, or popping boba. So there's some filling inside, and then pop.
Yep.
So it has many varieties and flavors, but the two most popular varieties are pearl black milk tea and pearl green milk tea. So again, pearl for the tapioca balls at the bottom.
I like for the delicious treat.
But they're all,
not just the boba drinks, but the food. What a great way to complement each other. You got a delicious drink on the side and a savory.
Remember when it's hot and then you're hungry, you want to socialize with friends, or you're filling up your resume for job applications or need to study. I feel like I could be at this shop for the long run, right?
Yeah, I like it. What we have for you for Into Sunny San Diego.
Let's see. Occurred in our district. So actually in the past, we had Welcome My Brethren in the local congregation of this picture of the brethren there. There is Brother Freddie Enot and other brethren who recognized those who were newly baptized, and they had a ceremonial book signing, and it was
we love to see it. And just happened today actually, was our fence painting INC giving activity. This was hosted by the local congregation of Temecula Valley at Veterans Park in Temecula. Oh, actually, do you hear that, Hannah?
Yep, I think this
This
just
Jazz in.
Who
We
do
have
we
a
have?
live report from Jazz. Can you hear us?
Yes, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm Jasmine Manakil from the local congregation of Temecula Valley, and this Jazz in just in time. So I wanted to also project. Please visit incgiving.org to learn more about all of the projects and the community service that we do in our area. And I'd like to introduce you all to Brother Justin, our resident minister.
Hello, Brother Justin.
Hello, brother.
Hello to everyone there in the studio. How's everyone doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on radio this morning. Can you tell us a little bit, Jazz and Brother Justin, on how the
We had our officers from the local congregation of Temecula organizing our fence painting activity with Christ.
We love it. And Jazz, I know that this is not our first fence painting INC giving that we've hosted in our local. Was it from your experience? How you felt? How
Yes, absolutely. So today is perfect weather. It's not too hot, not too cold. We have a nice breeze. So it was a wonderful experience for everyone that was there. We got to get involved and participate in community service, which a lot of them are in high school. So they're able to also do that for their community service hours. And so overall, it was a great experience. The city of Temecula has always helped beautify their parks, their recreational parks. As you know, many of our cities across the nation are short-staffed. They don't always have the ability to maintain all of their parks as much as possible. So they rely on volunteers just like us in INC Giving. Look forward to seeing you again in the next activity.
isn't that
I think
amazing?
Justin would also like to do some shout-outs if you don't mind.
Oh yes, Brother Justin. Also, by the way, welcome again, Brother Justin and his family. So, again, what are your shout-outs for today, brother?
Thank you, brethren, for the greetings and the warm welcome. First of all, of course, we would like to say hello and give thanks to our executive minister, Brother Eduardo B. Manalo, together with our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Manalo, for providing activities just like this. We're able to help the community and also in this manner share our faith with the people of this world. Next quote, I'd like to shout out my family. Hello to everyone.
All right, thank you, Brother. A little more formal welcome here, live in our studio.
Live greeting.
thank-
We'll have a good This Jazz in report.
Yes,
So fun. And to promote our health seminar, this will be held
there's the and safe in the summer. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. via
Yes.
video conferencing.
and that's what's on the horizon for the San Diego Satellite Studio. Hi!
Drum
Because we have our shout out challenge winner.
All right, so here we go. Yes, and again,
Just another loving shout out to the local congregation of National City, because we see you in the comment, the top 3. It's okay, because we know that there's a lot of you. Just keep commenting as much as
honorable
you
mention.
can.
Yes.
But thank you so much, everyone, for participating. This does wrap up our show today. Can you believe that we used to do hour-and-a-half long shows?
Yeah,
30
that much
minutes.
time passed.
30 minutes. And thank the following individuals who help make INC Radio San Diego possible. Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister. Brother Angelo Aranya Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister. Brother Wally Taray, our INC Radio Station Manager.
And we also want to acknowledge and thank Brother Matt Capistrano, our Supervising Minister of San Diego County, Brother Alex Oñate, our Assistant Supervising Minister of San Diego County, California, Brother Christian Cole, our District Multimedia Advisor.
For their show. And join us next week here on INC Radio San Diego as we'll be discussing, or you'll thank me later. That's the name of our show. We're going to be talking about letters to our younger selves. So join us for that.
All right. Thank you so much, Taylor, and everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah.
Promos.
Subscribe.